And did anybody else in the class? Everyone have a baby? Who can compete with that?
Did you get a baby motorcycle?
Baby what?
Yeah, that's right. I did get a new motorcycle.
Well, that's a close second.
Yes, very close.
That's awesome. All right. Well, as you probably know, there's a lot of talk going on right now in our country about different things. And there's been some people that have showed up at a church, to discuss. No, they didn't. Did not at all. And basically, we in the United States, we live a very sheltered life. And so this is like a surprise. This is shock and awe to Christians in the West. Well, I have worked with there's a former student here. He's in India pastoring, and it's just the cops can walk in anytime they want. Been to Indonesia, and with a church I was at, two houses down, it was in a building. There was like the church is here. It's in the same building as a couple homes, and two doors down, the Muslim family tried to firebomb that church. So, so things are different, and so I do respect the fact that what they did was wrong. I do hold that it's wrong, but our American senses of the horror on that don't even come close to what happened in Nigeria when Muslims showed up with machetes and hacked 40 of them to death. So, I mean, yeah, we need to, address these things and say it's wrong and oppose it, go for it. But let's not make it more than what it is. Okay. It's normal, worldly thinking, and this is how it goes. It's going to get worse, and it can get much worse, and it already is in many places in the world. It's just phenomenal how bad it is. I don't even tell my kids like, "Oh yeah, this happened." Went in there and disrupted. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, okay. And it is. It's rude. It's disrespectful. But that's really all it was. It was. Um, it was disrespect that was recorded to make them feel better at the expense of the church members. Okay, all right. We can handle that much more than other things going on. So wisdom is needed, and so is perspective. Also, we need to pray for our country. There's a variety of things going on regarding, shall we say, international relations. So, Greenland, and wisdom for our country and the approach. So, please be willing to be honest if it's the right approach or not, and we'll go from there. So, I can talk about more later. I definitely have some opinions, but we're gonna get into Greek right now. So, Lord, thank you for the opportunity to meet together. Thank you that we live in a country where one of the biggest whoop-de-doos is people coming into a church and going, "Hey, we don't like what you teach," or in different things. That's pretty mild, but of course, this is indicative of things as they get worse, and we want to be attuned to that and stand up for what is true and right, but also do that with as much integrity as possible. Thank you in Jesus' name, Amen. My wife asked me, "What would you do, if that happened, here at the church we go to?" So, well, I'm not on pastoral staff, and we have security guards, so I wouldn't want to interject myself. I wouldn't want to get in the way of them handling it the way that they think it's appropriate. So, but if I was a pastor, I am more than willing to get involved, but I don't want to add to the problem. So I try and find out what was needed. But if I was a pastor, I would just try and get my people out of the church, stay there and let them yell at me, because I don't give a rat's behind what they say to me. So but I want to protect, the older people, the kids and others and stuff like that. They just don't need to have it. We can have church on another. Church can happen 7 days a week. All right. So that Sunday morning hour, whenever it happens, is not so holy that we can't just go, "Hey, you guys just leave and okay, say what you want. Oh, that's really funny. All right, Mr. Lemon, you're hilarious." Or whatever. But do protect the people and protect the kids, and also talk to them afterwards. And we don't really have to worry about it. But We do have to be careful to a point because Alexander the coppersmith, what did Paul say about Alexander the coppersmith? Who recalls? What did he tell the other believers about Alexander the coppersmith? He said, be careful of Alexander the coppersmith. He's opposed us and caused great harm. So there is wisdom needed on the harm or great harm that can be caused. And he did cause great harm to the body of Christ. I'm not convinced that showing up on one Sunday morning causes great harm, but it could be prelude to more, and people have called for more. So wisdom is needed. So anyway, um, what he can't stop is us studying Greek. All right. Okay, so I went back and looked at my notes, and sorry about that. I said you didn't have to know the perfect tense, and so what I did is I just skipped it, and everyone got credit, even if you did it well or not. I don't know. I just like, you know what, my fault. However, I will add this. That is the last verbal form you need to know. So it's so go ahead and keep it going. Know that one. And I'll check on the pluperfect. I don't think it's any of the quizzes or exams. I know the perfect tense is on more quizzes coming out. So I think it's the pluperfect you don't have to know, but I need to double check that. I was going to do that, but I got a phone call. My daughter got hurt. She's at the doctor's right now. So I'm going to be checking my phone to see if anything else more is needed. And if I need to scoot, I don't think I will. I will scoot if I need to. But we're gonna move forward at the time. So she's gonna be okay, but she got a little banged up doing what kids do. So I'll be checking on those other things when I have a chance. Adjectives and adverbs. That's where we're at tonight. But as we look at adjectives, or before we look at adjectives and adverbs, talking about the perfect and pluperfect tenses, which are the last tenses to learn, how are we doing? Does the perfect tense and the pluperfect tense make sense? Greek focuses on kind of action of the verbs. If we remember that, we realize the time of action is secondary at best. So the kind of action that the perfect tense portrays is completed with ongoing, with continuing results. And it's more, it depends on how it's emphasized, but it's the continuing results of a past action, and typically past completed action. So that's what's going on with that. And the pluperfect is similar, but it's past action with past results, not continuing in the present. So there's a nuance there because the Greeks were very action oriented in their verb system. They wanted to know what was going on. They were a happening group, they want to know what's going on, what's action. They're action oriented, and that's what they did. That proves beneficial for the Christian faith because the actions of sanctification, past, present, future, past completed, these concepts would have been very understandable, very, very easy to understand, verb wise, action wise, to the Greek mind. I was like, okay, you are sanctified, redeemed, you're justified in Christ. Got it, right? It's a done deal. Well, then there's progressive sanctification. Okay, all right. And you have a past sanctification, present, and there's going to be a future, more completed sanctification. These are action-oriented things, and they would get that really easily. We as in the West might struggle with it a little bit more because we want to know more of the when, and that's understandable, but they're more focused on the action of it, if it's completed or ongoing or will be completed in the future. And for sanctification, it's all of the above. So that's it there. And then there's pluperfect. Yeah. So any questions on what we've covered so far in the text? Going back, anything that needs to be clarified? I see a hand up. Yes, Kimberly. Oh, I need to go. I need to show you guys the diagramming. That's what I need to do. So go ahead.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
I
Okay.
can hear you now.
I have a question about page 164. number, section C, number 7. It says
Seven. Yes.
gegonasen, and I thought that genomai was middle only, so I'm wondering why it got the active ending there.
I'm not sure. I have
Okay.
to, I don't have the, I'd have to go and look that up for that. Let me look here. Did they provide the answers in the back? I thought they did. Or
Yeah, they provided the
say there.
answers, but the asin ending is in the problem itself, and they didn't explain why it had that ending. That question might be
Okay.
too far into the weeds. I'm sorry if it is. It just
Yeah,
made me
but
curious.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up to verify rather than
Is it because
that's the
is it one of those verbs that just kind of changes forms?
it could be one of those. It was C. Oh, number
So it's
7.
like an error.
Yeah, C7.
Oh, so oh, I see what you mean. Perfect active. Well, I would have to go find out if in the perfect tense, because all my verbs some can have a different form, like an active form in a different tense. But I have to go back and verify
Oh,
that. So,
okay.
okay, so there can be some it's not 100% like oh my, Eric my, again oh my, they're always middle passive. They can switch and have a passive in a different tense and sometimes in a
Okay.
different mood too.
Okay.
I think it's indicative mood. Yeah, it's indicative mood. So,
Okay. I
but I
remembered
would
them
have
saying that it could have a present meaning sometimes, but I didn't know it could
right.
sometimes take the active endings. Or I mean, it could have an
But
active meaning, but I didn't know it could take active endings. That's super helpful.
well, maybe if they maybe I'm looking at something here. Let me look at this. Let me look at no. Maybe that's what they could mean as well. Because once again I have to look and verify. Maybe they mean it's active in meaning, but maybe it's a typo.
Oh,
If
okay.
I'd have to go back, like I said, I have to go back and look and see if Ginomai is one of those that could take an active form or not in the perfect tense. But it could just be that they have a typo. Those happen once in a while.
Okay.
I found typo in the NIV translation before, after it's gone through 10,000 reviews and stuff like that, and been read by 40 million people, and then I come across and it just happens. So yeah, but no, that's a good question. I just don't know right off. So we are. Any other questions here? Okay. And hello, Jessica and Alexander and Ruben and everyone. So good to see everybody. So adjectives. We are on adjectives. Now, as you may know, and hopefully you do know, an adjective is a word that typically would modify a noun. Okay. As opposed to adverbs, which would often modify verbs. Okay. Or other adverbs. But adjectives are like nouns. Oh, they're like the article. They come in any gender, number, and case. Now that's going to be very informative for the next chapter. I believe it's the next one when we start participles. Yeah, because participles are verbal adjectives. Now the adjective side of a participle is this: any gender, number, and case. Okay. So getting used to the fact that adjectives and participles can come in any gender, numbered case, you need to relate that to the article, because the article comes in any gender, numbered case. And the reason the article comes in any gender, numbered case is that it needs to be able to modify, and therefore that means match in gender, number, and case whatever it modifies. So the article is going to be modifying a neuter, plural, genitive. The article is going to have to match that in gender, number, and case. Same thing for the adjective. Okay. So adjectives come in any gender, number, case because of them. So you'll see that on page 168. And they give you two examples. One's the third declension adjectives, but the first one is a first and second declension adjectives. That's because they're kind of combining the first and second declension nouns. Remember, they had feminine nouns with the ain, okay, and you'll see that in the feminine right there. And then the second declension nouns, masculine and neuter, you have the os, u, o, on for the singular, and then on, u, o, on. It's the same as the article. It's the same as what you learned before. It's just an adjective. And if you know what an adjective is, like agathos, kalos, whatever the adjectives are, you realize, oh, most of them are going to follow this pattern here. Recall as well. So you already know all the endings. So you'll need to be able to parse these things for quizzes, but you parse them like a noun. Okay, just like nouns. Okay. And what you're going to need to do, one thing to remember is the feminine adjective, and they talk about it over here. If it ends in rho, epsilon, iota, where is that at?
It's 169.
160, there you go. That's right, 169, right in the middle. If the stem of the adjective ends with an epsilon, iota, or rho, which is just like the first declension feminine nouns, then they follow the alpha pattern, as in necra, necros, necra, necron. Okay? And they follow that pattern in the singular because the plural remains the same. I own, I sauce. So when you have an adjective, like most of them are going to follow the pattern here, and the feminine will follow either this pattern or the alpha in the first in the singular. That's as far as forms go. That's a lot. That's a majority of it. Do the forms make sense? Do you want me to cover the forms or explain these forms? We're going to be going through the uses. That's the really important thing, how they're used. But do you understand the forms? How agathos, agathu, agatho, agathon? It just follows what you've already learned. Notice that good, this good here, agathos, which you'll have the agathos will be the yeah, let me review that. Agathos will be the lexical form, but go back to your vocabulary. And I want to draw a distinction here for you. Okay, they don't have it all here. We're going to go back to that one, and we're also going to go back to, we're going to flip over to, in just a minute, 153. So get ready to flip to 153. Right now we're looking at 166. Okay, but we will be flipping back to 153. 166, you had some vocabulary last week preparing you for this week that is adjectives. You'll notice that if it's an adjective, what does it have following it in the vocabulary list?
An article, feminine and neuter.
Right, the feminine and neuter article too. So it has agathos as the masculine, and then the article or the endings ain and on, which are not the article, but they're the ending of agathos in the masculine, feminine, neuter. So they actually give you that. It looks like the article, but it's actually not the article. Okay. It'd be agathe. And you can see that on 168. Agathe, agathes, agathe, agathane. What they're doing is they're telling you first, that's an adjective, because they give you the three endings: the masculine, feminine, neuter. Second, what it's telling you is the feminine ending. It tells you which pattern it follows. Look at the next word down, hagios for holy. Hagios, hagia, alpha pattern. You should see that and go, hey, why that? And why is the alpha pattern there? The iota, exactly. Notice the stem of hagios is the alpha gamma iota. The omicron is not part of the stem. That's the masculine singular nominative ending. The stem ends with the iota. And iota stems of adjectives have the alpha pattern. And so instead of a-ain, it's going to be os, on. Okay.
What was it, iota, and what were the other two that followed?
Rho and epsilon. So look at heteros here. It's like the fifth word down, I think, fifth word down. Heteros. There's a row there. And so you have an alpha. And let's see, do we have another? We have necros, another row. And paneros. But it's also be epsilon. They don't have one listed here yet. So now flip to 153. Just want to remind you that the endings that they provide for the adjective is not the same as third declension nouns. Look at third declension noun like phos. The second word is the genitive spelling of it to give you the paradigm structure goes by, followed by the article ta to tell you this is neuter. So don't confuse a third declension noun presentation in the vocabulary with the adjective presentation in the vocabulary. The adjective presentation of the vocabulary gives you three things: the word, masculine nominative singular, but it also gives you the feminine nominative singular, as well as the neuter nominative singular, by simply giving you the dash line twice with the ending that will go there for the feminine and neuter. Are we clear on that? Clear as mud? Are we clear? You see how those are adjective endings, and they're giving you a hint as to what it follows.
Yes. What's the reason for the like megas in 166?
Right.
And it has like three full-on words.
Megas, megale, and mega. That is because what kind of word is that? It's an adjective. It's a third declension adjective.
What's third?
Remember what third declension is. Put it in a blender and hit puree. So rather than just giving the endings, because they're often weird, they give you all three. It's the masculine, feminine, and neuter. The mega at the end is actually neuter, but it could look feminine. And it's telling you by going, no, it's not feminine. Look at the palos, pale, palu. Masculine, feminine, and neuter. Neuter, it was with an upsilon. So that's going to be the third declension series endings for that adjective. Okay.
I was getting ready to say, at least it's got the eta on the feminine endings, and then I looked up to pos. It does not.
Correct.
The eta doesn't even give it away as a.
Right. The alpha, the alpha would almost look like, I don't know. I mean, it's on. it would look like feminine nominative. Well, it is, but not the pawn. So look at, if you look at page 168. Here, pasa, yeah. 168, the third declension adjectives. They give you the rendition of pos. And pos, pontos, ponti, ponta. This is sa, say, sa. Notice say son. Notice the feminine has the alpha, eta alpha pattern. That's actually part of the first declension nouns. Feminine nouns, there's a third pattern that we didn't learn, but it's the alpha, eta alpha pattern. So nominative and the accusative, singular, and the feminine have alphas, and the genitive and dative in the singular feminine have etas. And there's certain circumstances to why that happens, but we haven't bothered to memorize those. Let's see, where's the plural? Yes. Okay, the feminine plural. Notice that they're all the same. I own ice os. On the first and second declension, feminine, and the third declension, feminine. I own ice os. Okay, that's nice. The plural neuter is almost identical. Own, and then you have, instead of ois, you have sit or sin, and you have the Okay. So there's some similarities. I would be asking you to give a paradigm of various first or second declension nouns, adjectives. Okay. Nouns are a possibility too, but as far as adjectives go, I can, it's fair game. So here's an adjective. Go ahead and decline it for me, and which means providing all of these. Okay. It should be pretty straightforward, especially if you remember epsilon iota rho changes the feminine singular to alpha. On, as opposed to I own, I saw, a own, a ace, a aim. So that's recognition of them. Any questions on recognizing and seeing how these are spelled? Okay.
It's kind of nice. One of the easier things to learn.
It is. It's a lot easier than the others. It's a lot easier. So if you have an article that modifies it, it will match it in what?
Gender, number, case.
That's it. That's what they do. Gender, number, and case. So that part's pretty straightforward. That will be true, by the way, of participles. If you have a participle that's being modified by an article, that article will match it in gender, number, and case. Pretty straightforward. Okay. Okay. What we need to do is now talk about how Greek adjectives work. There is similarity to English. Okay, so where it modifies a noun. So the big boy, right? Ran very fast. There was one guy in junior high, 9th grade, Wendell Johnson. Boy, that guy was one very big guy. Okay, he was like a bowling ball with legs. And I was going to go race against him. I thought, oh, I got this. I did not win. That dude could run. I was so impressed. Wendell, man, good job. Man, he was a beast. So yeah, the big boy can run. Now, big, of course, is modifying boy. We could say the elderly man, right? So the elderly man lives down the street. We could say in English, the elderly attend the first service. Let's say, right? They get up early in the morning, they get up, whatever. Now, notice the elderly man, that's an adjective, it's being used, it's an adjective. When we say the elderly or the mighty, we're now using elderly or mighty, an adjective, with the word the before it. The word the and just that with no modifying noun, that becomes what? The noun. That's right, the substantive, the noun for the sentence, the substantive sentence. So the elderly attend the first church. The subject of the sentence is the elderly. And the word the plus the adjective with no noun that it modifies is the subject, or could be a direct object. Let's see, like the elderly attend the first service is not the same thing as the elderly man attends the first service. What's the difference?
Yeah, literally is collective of people, whereas elderly man is just describing one dude.
Right, yeah, the elderly man has an individual picked out, and the elderly is used corporately. Now, yes, so we'll leave it at that. Any questions on that? It's used in some different ways too. We could say,
Can I,
yeah, please.
in that example, the elderly attend the first service.
Yeah.
I know we're just talking English right now, but you're saying kind of Greek. So would we use the plural form of the adjective in that case, or the singular?
Well,
Because it's the same.
in Greek you can use either.
Oh,
Yeah.
to mean either one or multiple.
No, we'll get to it.
Okay.
But that's a great question. It's actually why I stopped. Because I was like, oh, I'm just gonna mess them up. So I'm gonna stop there. And then we're gonna go in, but
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
but you'll see. Okay, so that's the perfect question to ask. That's the right question to ask, and this is where Greek differs from English. Okay, so first I want to try and draw some similarities, and we're also going to see some differences, and it's important. There's three main uses of adjectives, and that's what we're going to look at right now. So, okay. For 1 second, please. I got an update.
Well, I'm going to intermediate here. Intermediate, somewhat, because I did elementary, intermediate.
All right. Great. So let's see here. The attributive use. I just talked about the attributive use, at least how we do it in English. You know, the elderly man, the big guy, the beautiful book. You know, so you have the word the oftentimes with adjective and the noun that it modifies. So that's going to be called in Greek the attributive position, where you have let's do this. The good book, the good word. Okay. Of his bibliosity, it would be good book. So it's the good word. All right. Or the good man, be anthropos, right? But the article is modifying logos. It is not modifying the adjective. That's going to become important. Okay. It matches the adjective in gender, number, and case. All three of these match. Since agathos modifies logos, and logos is a masculine singular nominative, to modify it, it also must be masculine singular nominative. And of course, the article must be masculine singular nominative. If it was neuter, it'd be neuter, it'd match neuter. If the noun was a feminine, it would be feminine. Okay, both of these would be in feminine because agathos can be in feminine. In the article, there's a feminine article, so we can easily match gender, number, and case, right? So that it's that flexible. But the article modifies logos. This modifies logos. This is called the first attributive position. The reason it's called the first attributive position is because that's the way they named it. The second attributive position, it does the same thing. It's translated identically into English. There is a little bit of there's a little bit of difference. It's actually a little more emphatic. And that emphasis is not brought out in translations. It might be nice in a Bible study to do it. But the second position would be ha logos, ha agathos. Now, the article, this one modifies logos. This one modifies agathos. Notice in both positions, the book will talk about there's an article directly in front of the adjective with a corresponding noun that matches it in gender, number, and case. So this adjective has an article right in front of it with a corresponding noun that matches gender, number, and case. So the fact that this is masculine singular nominative and these are masculine singular nominative means, and since that's the adjective, this is being modified by it. This is a little more emphatic. The word "the good," it's really, I mean, it's a good word, right? Preach it, bro, right? That's a good word. And if you really want to emphasize it, that's how you would say it in Greek. That's 1 and 2. There is a third. I don't think they talked about it. Did they talk about it? I don't think they talked about it. But that it's rare and that's okay. So here they talk about article, adjective, noun, or article, noun, article, adjective. The article and adjective can come before it too. Okay. So it could be like the good word or agathos, logos. They match gender, number, and case. That's your cue. Okay. But these are the two most common. The third one would be basically agathos goes before it. That's all. So what we have is we have an adjective with an article that precedes it that matches a substantive Remember, a substantive is a fancy word for something that functions as a noun. It could be a noun, many times it is. Could be a participle, could be another adjective, by the way. That it matches, they match in gender, number, and case. Remember, that's them holding hands and singing Kumbaya. That's the Greek version of that. That's the Greek version of them all wearing the same shirts when they go to Disneyland. Hey, I'm with them. How do they show the matching? They do it by gender, number, and case. It's true for adjectives and nouns and article and participles. All right. Doesn't matter where the adjective is located. If it has an article before it, and then with a matching noun, you're good. And yes, it's true. Neither the adjective nor the noun need to have articles before it for the adjective to modify the noun. It can do the same thing without an article before it. But the adjective will still match the noun and gender, number, case. That is really a big clue, okay? All right. In that instance, in that instance, usually what you'll have actually, and there's a reason, you're going to see a reason for that coming up when we look at the other uses. You would have the adjective and the noun, but no article. Okay. They would match gender, number, and case. Okay. And the reason is because if one of them has the article, especially if the noun has the article and the adjective doesn't, well, anyway, it does. We're going to be getting to some other uses. So usually the article will be right in front of the adjective, or the adjective will have its own article, or no articles at all. They always match gender, number, and case. Okay, that is the adjectival use of the adjective. Okay. Any questions? We good on that? Okay, remember that now.
So when it comes to diagramming adjectives, would we use uh a slanted stem going down to the left and then over? Okay.
Exactly right. Just as if you used a genitive noun to modify something, is exactly right. Just modify.
Okay.
It's using an adjective instead of like a genitive noun or a noun in the same case. Exactly right. Now, in this case here, if you're diagramming ha, agathos, logos, remember the article goes with logos. So ha logos would go on the line above, and agathos alone would go down below. Oh, I put it over here. So it would be sorry. With like that. That's how that would go. For this position here, it would be the same thing, except agathos would have its own article. That's it. Okay. Second, please. All right. Okay. That is the attributive use. Now, like I said before, the adjective can be used as a substantive. Now, it comes with the article in front of it. And they give you some examples here. One example they give is one of them is ha agathos. Okay. But notice there is no matching noun. Noun that matches in gender, number, case. Okay. Let's see, agathos. Spoke, spoke or said something, right? He said something. It's the good because it's masculine. It implies the good man, or it could be the good person, but typically be the good man. If this was feminine, then of course it would have a feminine article. Hey, agathe. It would be the good woman. That's it. If you wanted to talk about more than one, plural, it would be right. Yeah, high tone, high stars. Yeah.
Female, sorry.
Female, the women. I mean, no, I'm sorry, the good women. It's the good, right? The good implied is women, plural. So we would translate that in English, the good women. Because we don't have the implication of gender since the good is neutral.
Is there a time where you would talk about the good itself? Like, let's say, I guess, would that be the good things? Like, would you put it in neuter then?
Exactly. So if you want to say the good things, plural, you would literally change this to the plural. So you'd have ta, agatha, right? Own. Yeah. Want to make sure I'm getting confused here. Yeah, that's it. Yep. Of course. Yeah, that's how you do that. Of course, that could be also that could be accusative, right? So to be able to determine from context. It is, but it would be the good what? Things. Oh, this would have a change. I'm assuming this changes, to match. But that's what this means, the good things. All right. So there we go. This is the substantival use. Substantive is used like a noun. The substantival use of the adjective. So first we had the first attributive. Thank you. We had the first attributive and the second attributive. There's also the third attributive. Uses the attributive. So one is article, adjective, noun, or the second one article, adjective. No, article, noun, article, adjective here. Although this could come first. And then you could have just adjective, noun. That's the third one. Here you have this when they don't have a matching gender number case, a noun to go with it. Not a noun, not a participle, nothing. It's just out there serving as the subject of its nominative case, direct object of its accusative case, could be the object of a preposition, whatever case it's in. The case determines its usage in the sentence. But this article, adjective by itself, functioning by itself, is functioning as a noun. Okay? Kind of like the elderly. So, but you asked about singular and plural for Greek, yes. English, that's harder. We have the elderly's plural, but we don't have. Well, I guess we could say the elder. You know, but that's kind of. I think that's more of a noun and not an adjective. We could. Well, it could be used either way. Can elder be used either way? But I like the elder man. Could be the elder.
I have an elder brother, you know.
Yeah, you have an elder brother. So maybe because some words you are depending on their usage could be nouns or adjectives in English. I believe it can be both. But that's how we get around that in English is we rate them saying, okay, it can be a noun or it can be an adjective. In Greek, it's an adjective that's just being used like a noun. But it's still an adjective. Okay. Now, first and second, going to let's see. Adjectives. Predicate use, yes. The predicate use. We have okay, like it says here. Just like it says there. Now, whereas we had like, oh, I want to use a different one. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, like it has there, you know, the good. We could do the good. It's bad. Just like they have on there. Agathos, ha, logos. The word, the good, it means the good word. Or if this came beforehand, it would be the good word. Notice that the good, that logos, agathos, does not have an article before it. It could be this set or it could be this way. Either way, agathos does not have an article before it. So it could be written this way or it could be written this way. Okay. This is being used like a noun. Well, in a substantive, I should say, substantive. Because it's implying that the word is good. Let me show you. I'm gonna turn my Bible software on here. I'm sure Logos on. It's not on. And Where's that? Oh. Come on. I'm going to be pulling this up. It's going to take me just a minute. So here we have simply the article before a noun. And then outside of that, we have an adjective that matches gender, number, and case. It's called the predicate adjective use. Remember the predicate nominative? You have two nouns that are in the nominative case, and they're brought together by to be verb, esten. So we have, this person is, the Lord is good. Oh, well, the Lord is a man. And so you have two nouns, and the predicate nominative is the noun, the nominative case noun. Well, it's just an adjective, so we call it a predicate adjective to distinguish it from an actual noun. So the predicate nominative, a predicate adjective, is a fancy word for an adjective in the predicate position that is following a linking verb. Okay, that's all it is.
Well, it doesn't always have to be nominal.
In that case, it's nominative.
Well, at least in that case, but right, that's the difference between a predicate nominative and a predicate adjective, is that the predicate nominative is always in the nominative case, and a predicate adjective
Is in a nominative case. Yeah, they didn't say otherwise, did they? It's a nominative case.
well. Then why do we have all the other listings of the adjectives? Well,
That's for just generic.
I'm just, well, yeah, I mean, in that sentence where we're like the man is good or something like that.
Right.
But I'm just saying if it's modifying a genitive noun,
That's different.
Yeah, 'cause we're not
So,
saying,
okay,
the
that's
man-
the attributive use.
yeah, that's just the good man as opposed to the man is good.
Right.
no, what I'm saying is, I think you guys are probably answering my question, but let me ask
No,
it
it's
in a
fine.
different
No,
way.
I'm glad you're asking it.
If we say the truth is from the good God, from a good God. So God in that sense is in the attributive case, right?
No, notice you changed a little bit. You put in a prepositional phrase.
Okay.
The truth is from God.
Okay, so God would be in
That would be, I'll show you with that. I'll show you an example of that right here. So I'm going to go to John 1:1 for this case here. This is great. I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to show it to everybody here. Okay. This will actually make a lot more sense now that we're doing this. Let me put this on your screen. I'm going to turn it for everybody else here. So here we are. John 1:1. We have in the beginning was the word. It's actually the word was. This is a linking verb. This is a to be verb. Okay. In the beginning. So a prepositional phrase. You could say the word halagos was, if you change the preposition, from God. So as soon as you say from God, then that would be this here. Halagos, the word was. It looks like it's going to be a predicate nominative or a predicate adjective, but it's not. From God, here it is. Pros, ton, theon. And halagos, the word was theos, God. That is a noun in a nominative case. If it's an adjective, go ahead. Go ahead.
That last line is logos.
And the word was God. So it's the last. There's 3 lines in John 1:1. This is the last line. Okay. After the last chi, the last and. There's 2 ands.
Theos is a predicate nominative.
Theos is a predicate nominative.
And it's interesting because like in the Greek, theos comes before logos, but logos has the article.
Correct. Which, no, it doesn't go first. It means that it's the subject. That's
It's the
different.
subject, yeah.
And theos comes first because it's emphasizing it. And divine was the word. Because here John is dropping a theological bombshell on everybody. They haven't put together the Jewish mind and the Greek mind haven't put together all the pieces. And in John 1:1, he does. He says, in the beginning was the word. And the Jewish mind's fine with that. The rationale is there. And the Logos was with God. The Greek mind's like, yeah, all right, we're cool. Jewish mind, Greek mind. And then he says, hey, you Jewish minds and Greek minds, get this. That Logos, divine. Theos. Wait a minute. Whoa. And he spends the rest of the Gospel of John proving it. Okay. So that's a predicate nominative. Predicate adjective. I need to there's a verse with 3 in a row. Something is holy, something is righteous, something is good.
What's the definition of a predicate? Does it have to come after the direct object? I mean, the preposition.
No, it's a very good, it's a confusing thing. So, let's see. The word was God, right? This is actually the predicate. It's like a linking verb. The predicate nominative is the nominative case noun that follows the predicate. So the predicate is actually this here. This is often considered the predicate. You have the subject and the predicate, but then the verb can be called a predicate. But then the predicate nominative is simply the nominative that goes with that linking verb.
Because like the predicate is basically making a comment about the subject.
Right. So the verb plus whatever follows. Sometimes sometimes in some of the books, I'll talk about the predicate, the verb of the predicate, or calling that a predicate, but it's a predicate nominative. And what they mean is this one right here. All of this typically would be the predicate, but that's also the verb part. This is the noun part. And as a unit, as a specific predicate nominative, it's this one here. Predicate adjective is simply an nominative case adjective in this spot. And I was going to look one up. Is holy, is right, something about the law, and something is good, right, holy.
It was in our exercises for this week.
Oh, was it?
Romans 7:12, I believe.
Okay, let me whoops, that's not right. Let me look it up here. I need to open up my another step here. I'll do this. Romans, what was it?
7:12.
7:12. That sounds about right. Thank you. Yeah. Let's look at these. Romans 7. Well, yes. Yeah. Well, that's 3 of them. And 2 separate ones. So I'll look and see if I've diagrammed this one in just a minute. So here we have and it says, so then here we have men, which is then, ha, the nomos, the law, hagios. Notice that ha, you have the men, which goes before. Okay, so then, so then, but ha, nomos, the law, those are both singular nominative masculine. Hagios, holy. So it's not saying the holy law, it's saying the law is, with an implied to be verb, is holy. Kai, right? Kai. And here we have the commandment, holy. Kai, righteous. Kai, agathe, good. So the commandment, so we have a law that's holy, and we have a commandment that is also holy and righteous and good. There's no verb in that sentence. It's implied. It really is. This is very common in the New Testament. Let me see if I have Romans 7:12 diagrammed. No. Oh, wait. It doesn't do abbreviations. Oh, there we go. I think we have it. Can you all see that? So there we have the law. Should be Amy in there. Is hagios. Kai, and the commandment is hagia and dikaya, kai, agathe. All three. Okay. Now down here, I did that, I think, because go back and look.
I also noticed that the holy and righteous
No.
have the alpha ending, and then good has the A.
Okay, and hold on. What is the reason for that?
Just because of the type of word holy and righteous are.
Is that because of the noun?
That iota.
The iota. It's because of the stem of those adjectives. Remember, if it ends with a iota, the stem, it's going to have the alpha series. And this is the chi ends with an iota, so it's going to have an alpha. And this ends with a theta, so it's going to have the eta. It's not making a extra spiritual statement with the alpha versus eta. It's just how the words spell. But this here, these are predicate adjectives. So is this one. Predicate adjectives. Predicate and adjective right there. Right there. Okay. If you look,
So I guess we could say if an adjective is being used in that way as a predicate adjective, it'll always be in the nominative case.
correct. Right. Because in order for it to say something about the subject following a linking verb, it must be in the nominative case. Now, it doesn't have to, but it could say something about if the word was he spoke the good word. The good word, the ha, it wouldn't be ha. The good word, let's say, it would be hatuto ton agathon. Okay. And a ta logon with ta agathon logon. So it would be here. Let me get out of this. Let's say he spoke the good word. That would be accusative case. Then we have on. Astuthon, right? Log on. This is accusative. These are all accusative, right? The matches to modify this one. And so if you have, you would diagram it. Con, oops, see that I switched to English.
We know what you meant.
So easy to do that. It'd be there we go. It'd be agathon. Like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you can do that with an adjective, but it'll match in gender, number, and case. Or it could be the genitive case if it was a genitive noun for some reason. Our adjective matches in gender, number, and case, and it can be in any of them, depending upon the use of the noun. The noun has to be in dative case. Well, then it's in dative case. To match it, it'll join it being dative case. Okay. This predicate adjective use is common in the New Testament. It's not every other page, nothing like that, but it's there quite a bit. The implied verb, it's there. It could be stated as well. Could be implied, not a big deal. All right, so we have the substantive use, substantival use. It'd be like the good man or the good man if it was plural. The good woman or the good women. Or it could be the evil man or the evil women, or the evil things. In the context, if you're talking about kids, probably use neuter, the evil ones, then it means the evil kids. If it was in neuter case, just like teknon or python.
We're here to do just like generic good people. Would that be masculine?
That'd be masculine. Yeah. The neuter, they're gonna do not the neuter. The generic, like the crowd, the great crowds or something like that, it's gonna be masculine. Well, crowds is masculine. But if you wanted to do something to refer to a generically everybody, that's typically masculine. Yep. So you'd have to look and make sure, technically you have to make sure if it's the man or the person. But typically it's man. That's how they typically do it. So I don't know of any right off that be generic, the person. Of course, might be people who want to butcher scripture and turn it into it's just the people, not the man. Anyway, that's a liberal, anyway, that's a whole different issue. Okay. All righty. 3 uses. Are they clear? Clear as mud. The article is presence. Also a modifying noun or not or lack thereof helps differentiate the uses. If there is no noun that matches gender, number, and case, probably have the substantival use of the adjective. if you have a noun that matches in gender, number, case with an article just before the adjective, good chance you have a straight adjective modifying a noun. But then again, if you have an article before an adjective and another noun that matches gender, number, case, but no article in front of it, or just they're separate, could have a stative verb, linking verb or not, and it could be like the law is holy type thing. Could be the that usage of it, the predicate nominative use. Okay. All right. We good on those three uses? Okay. If you don't say otherwise, I can't know otherwise.
Dr. Crocker, that last one you
Yeah,
gave us-
1 second. Well, hold on. I think I need to get the volume up here. Yes.
Oh, it's my
Go
fault.
ahead.
I didn't have my microphone down. Hey, the one that you just gave us on the board
Okay.
where it is in the predicate, that's still not the predicate use, right? That's an example of the attributive use happening in the predicate, right? Because it's not with a linking verb. It's the one with I'm sorry, can you scoot over so I could see the board? I'm so sorry. Yeah. So ton, logon, agathon. The agathon, that's the attributive position, right? Even though it's happening on a noun that is in the predicate, right?
This is not in the predicate. This would be it's accusative, right? So the verb here, this would be like the man spoke the word. So
Right.
that's accusative case. It's not
Right.
predicate. That's
No,
direct object. This would be direct object.
right. The direct object isn't considered a part of the predicate.
Okay, that's part of the yeah.
Sorry, I'm just trying to understand.
No,
Like,
I'm not laughing at you. No, this is what this no, you good question. I'm not laughing at all. It's how people how they use the English people came up with English teachers came up with from long ago to describe these things. Yes, the
Okay.
predicate technically includes the verb and everything that follows. But when it comes to predicate adjective, the adjective is in the nominative case only. So we're talking about, see that they're using the same words with a couple different meanings. And I think that stinks, especially when you're a new language learner. Not that you're a new language learner at all, but in a confusing language way. They should have come up, even if they would have called the nominative case here with is implied and a linking and a nominative case adjective here. If they would have called this tofu soup, it would have been easier. Okay. So I'm not kidding. So this is tofu soup. This is an adjective that's nominative case that follows a linking verb, and that adjective modifies this, saying something about that noun.
right.
They call that a predicate adjective.
Yeah.
Do not confuse that with all the other predicates and the following stuff. I hate it that they use that terminology.
Okay.
Okay. But this is technically the predicate and all of it. I mean, if you had a prepositional phrase, right? Prepositional phrase here, all of that would be considered the predicate.
Right.
Don't think about that. Think of tofu soup.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what I was asking then, since that's in technically the predicate, it still is using the attributive use, right? Because it's not with a linking verb. It's not using the predicate use. Like that one, ta, logon, and with the agathon below it, that one is an attributive
No.
adjective, attributive position, right?
Oh, the adjective. Yes. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about this.
Okay, that's what I was checking.
Attributive adjective. Yes.
Okay.
This
Thank
is
you.
actually still giving its attribute, but since it's nominative case, since it's after a linking verb, and it's the predicate, it's called the predicate nominative.
Right.
Okay. And it's designed to be recognized because there's either an implied verb or a stated verb, but the adjective doesn't have an article typically, and the noun does. Typically.
I like they threw that in there.
You like typically. We're just gonna go with it. There's no article. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Does that help? Okay. I'm sorry. It really bothers me every time. Every time. I am not kidding you. Every single time I read on the predicate adjective, it bothers me, and the predicate nominative that they use the word predicate there, because they define a predicate differently, and it just annoys me every single time. So anyway, I don't like it. But maybe there's more to it that I don't understand. Maybe that's the issue. I don't know. But they defined it that way. So, okay. So, uses of pos. We have a third declension adjective, predicate position, attributive position, anarthrous, and substantive. Pos gets used pos time all the time. See what I did there? Anyway, all right. So a whole lot. They've done a really good job of just showing you predicate position again. Now notice that they call it the predicate position. There is no usually stated linking verb. Notice that the adjective precedes the articular noun, but it's going to match it in gender, number, and case, right? So look at hoi. This is on page 172, hoi anthropoi. You have an articular masculine noun, that's plural, nominative, plural, masculine, plural nominative. Pontes, if you look over on 168, you see that Pontus is also plural masculine nominative. Yeah, I know. It's not spelled the same at all. It's the third declension. Welcome to third declension now. Adjectives. They're not your friend either. But there's no article in front of it. The Pontus is not in between hoi anthropoi. Hold on. Yeah. It's not in between. If it was, it would be the attributive position. Look at the attributive position. It's not the all man, it's the whole man for the attributive position. Or the whole city, polis, which is a feminine noun. That's why it has the feminine article, the eta, modifying it. This could be any gender number case. They're just giving you examples. It could be any gender number case depending upon the uses of it and the kind of noun that it is. But notice that pos can also be neuter. Ton, pon, soma, the whole body. That's attributive use again. So each of these, which is really nice, they use man or men, city, and body, and thing or things, all together, thing or people. Look at the substantive, no expressed noun at all. Look at the hoi pontus there. It's the all, but it's masculine. So it means all the men or all the people. So you asked about that there, Charlton. There it is. And so we have a masculine plural adjective, and it's going to either refer to men or all the people generically. I don't think they use the neuter for that at all. Maybe they would for kids, because teknon and paiton are neuter. Then we have high posse, which is high, it's a feminine plural. It's the all, but since it's feminine, it's all the women or all women. Then ta panta, all things. All things are possible in Christ. What verse is that? All things. Where's that at? I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, all things are possible and all things are beneficial. 1 Corinthians.
Oh, yeah, saying that. That's an all.
Things are possible.
Either one of them.
Matthew 19:26.
Okay, Matthew, you say 19:26?
Yes.
Therefore, all adjective. Yes, there we are. Okay. We have it here, folks. So here we are. Notice, but here with God, we have a nominative, plural neuter, all, with a nominative plural neuter noun if possible. So all things are possible. So that would be for all. This would be all.
Possible would also be an adjective, wouldn't it?
Yes, these are both adjectives. Yep. And then all things are possible. This is actually in this would be a predicate nominative, the way they have it translated here. With all things are possible. That's how we translated it. Interesting. So neither of them have the article. But in contrast to that, with God, but all things are possible with God. Para theou would be modifying under the unstated verb. What's the other one? 1 Corinthians? Was there a 1 Corinthians one?
I was thinking of it might not be good. The Philippians, I can do all things.
Try that.
In Christ strengthens me.
Philippians
4:13.
hold on. Yeah. 13. There we are. Let's see what they have here. I can do is the verb, though. This is probably going to be not accusative. It is. It's an accusative adjective. So here we are. I can do all. So here's panta, plural, accusative, serving as the direct object of the verb exuo. Exuo. Present, active, indicative, first person singular. And we have an adjective, accusative, plural. I can do everything. All. What we say, all things. So. Okay. All right. Then adjectives also come in degrees. Any questions? Well, before any uses of pos, they have it laid out really, really well there. No article before a noun. Usually it's every. Pos, anthropos, every man, every city, every body, or not everybody, but everybody. I want everybody to be at muster tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You ever hear anything like that? Okay, degrees. So there are positive, comparative, and superlative. Positive is just like, hey, that's nice. You know, that person did good. There's the stronger one where it's that person did great. And then superlative, that person is the greatest. So that it goes up. Okay. The positive, comparative, and superlative are compared. English examples: small, smaller, smallest. So going down in size. It can still do it going down or going up. Good, better, best. That's kind of going up, right? Young, younger, youngest, going down age-wise. So Chris has a young and youngest right now in the house, and if they have another baby, they'll be young, younger, and youngest, right? If they have a fourth, well, then they're just on their own. So that's crazy, crazier, and craziest. I don't know. So there's this great Christian couple that posts online about their life, and they're like, people ask us, why did we have a fourth kid? Right? I don't even see that. It's hilarious. And they're like, oh, and they just start making up things like, we didn't have enough laundry going on in the house. Oh, because we like to have more random things dropped throughout the house that we step on at night. They just make up all the because they know it's to come. So anyway, they're a great couple. I think he's a lawyer. Anyway, so they just go in degrees, and that's it. So as its usage is often determined by its there's a form, but also by its context. Context is the number one thing to determine that. Comparative is degrees. And you have adjectives. Let's see, wait. The second method for forming comparative adjective, though, the first, or where'd it go? The first one was third declension endings for the first use. The second one is teros. Second method forming a comparative anyway, adjective. You add teros to the adjective. And then there are two ways to communicate the word than. The first is use the word hey. And then there's genitive case. In other words, this is stepping into some of the things we look at in intermediate Greek, but this gives you a hint that the case system, the case of the adjective, can tell you what is going on as far as like comparison goes. So the case can help indicate comparison, this more than that. The other more common method involves the use of genitive case. For example, the father is greater, me is. The father is greater than I. That's page 174. The genitive case conveys the sense of than, not the typical of. So you would have to translate it in English than. The father is greater than I. The metzon communicates greaterness because of its case. Okay. So cases tweak things a little bit. Superlatives, istos and tatos. And then quickly we have adverbs. The nice thing about adverbs is they don't decline. An adverb is an adverb is an adverb. They don't change endings like adjectives. It's usually own, omega nu, although there are some adjectives that have that. Oh, I'm sorry, omega sigma, os, for that. We have like where to go, forms, general plural, cologne, gloss. So, close, where to go here? Quickly, it's like quickly. As we noted at the outset of this chapter, the most common endings found in the Greek adverbs is os, although it's not the only one. And an adjective just is its form. And adverb, sorry. Adverb just is its form, and that can modify a verb, that can modify an adjective, it can modify another adverb. So adverbs have one form. They don't decline. They don't come in different forms. Adjectives do, adverbs do not. Okay. I've got 4 minutes because I have the other class. I apologize. Any questions on those? Or do you want me to go through the vocabulary list, pronunciation?
I know we may not have time, but can you go over the diagram from last week?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. Yes, real quick here. I believe this was it. Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah, 2 Corinthians 12:9. Here you go. Guys did pretty well. The gar comes off the verb here. Remember, what kind of verb is this? Besides being perfect tense, what kind of verb of? He said. So saying, said, prayer, thoughts, anything like that, that means everything after that is discourse. So it's going to go on a stilt and it's all going to be related here. Now you just find the main verb, which is the grace, sufficient. Your grace is sufficient for me. For the power perfected in weakness or something like that. Okay. So here we are. It's explaining why is his grace sufficient? Because his power is perfected in weakness. Right. There it is.
I have a question for
Yes.
the for you, the sufficient for you, my grace is sufficient for you, that is considered an accusative direct object form? Isn't that dative?
It's dative. Yes. Some verbs remember they take genitive, dative, or accusative direct objects.
Oh.
Yeah. I hate that. Sorry about that.
Could you say that one more time?
Some verbs take genitive or dative direct objects, not just accusative. Right. Very, very common.
So
Well, let me double check.
so would
Go
it
ahead.
have I did have it under the verb for you. So could it go both ways or should it have been in as a direct object?
Let me double check. That's where I put it. I'm going to double check with somebody who's the master at it,
Okay.
and I will. That was 2 Corinthians 2:19.
12:9.
12:9. 12:9. Second Corinthians 12. 9, hold on, let me check that. This guy's the master. So okay. Is that it? Okay. 9. The grace. Yeah, it can go underneath. So if he says it can, it can. I disagree with how he does a few things. So yeah. The my grace. Let me put it up. Let me go back up. Here. Nope. Oh, I see. Yeah, my grace. I can't change it on that. Hold on. Trying to find the things. I only have one screen here to work with. I apologize. Here we are. There we are. So soy could go under the verb. If Dr. Leedy says it can go under there, I won't say otherwise. So he's a super nice guy, by the way. Super humble.
The gar line that's slanted down to the right.
Yes.
Does that have to be down to the right or?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, that has to be okay. Unless you have, if it's connected to the verb and that it's working with, if it's connected to the verb it's working with, it has to be slanted like this because it's a subordinate conjunction. Right. But if, let's say, I only had you diagram the gar after that, you could put it on a still and put it up on a line, or you could do it like that with anything else. That would be fine. But since it's in the sentence, and since it's explanatory, it's explaining the sufficiency of God's grace, it needs to come under that verb and come off of that. Okay. All right. You guys are awesome, and have a good night. I apologize. I need to go get set up. Have a few minutes for that. So everything else going well? Is everybody okay? Is you doing all right? Do you have any? Did somebody say something?
Your microphone.
Sorry, my microphone was up again. Is your daughter okay?
Oh, thank you. I think she's gonna be okay. We're not sure about broken bones yet, but in her arm. But we're gonna go. They took X-rays. There's nothing yet, but they're gonna follow up with Brady's because maybe they often see breaks in her arm where she landed. She fell, hit her head, and landed, and on her shoulder. So she's gonna be sore. Anyway, yeah. But thank you for asking. So she'll be good. It's her head we're most concerned with, and but I think sounds like everything's good. So thank you. All right, everybody. God bless. Have a wonderful night.